The good folks at Comics for Fun and Profit have been doing 2 episodes a week for quite some time now, and it's all thanks to, first of all, Jason, and second of all, our patrons who allow us to add the space on our server, broadcast more, store more, share more with you, the listeners. I'm envious of those of you who have unlimited storage and media server capabilities. We pay for ours here at the C4 FAP. It ain't cheap. We thank you so much for those of you who go to patreon.com/comicsfunprofit and contribute at any level to say thanks, to say I want to be a part of your Slack channel conversations. I want to get exclusives. I want to get early access. I want to get ad-free access. I want to get swag. I want to get some free stuff. Whatever your reasoning is, we appreciate it at any level because it does make a difference. So from the bottom of Kyle and I and Jason's heart, thank you for contributing.
Aloha! This is Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. Today, I am welcoming back a friend of the show, Alika Seki. Alika is here to promote Maui Comic Con 2022, and it's going to be from December 10th to December 11th. Now, if you are visiting Maui during this time, please check out the convention. Alika, welcome back to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this again.
You as well. I always have fun doing interviews with you, man.
Thank you very much. So, I'm gonna so Alika, one of the questions I'm going to ask is, where can listeners get more information about Maui Comic Con?
MauiComicCon.com. Dots or spaces, just MauiComicCon.com. So far the only information we have is basically the guests we've got out, and we're about to start putting out more information since we're a little more than a month out now. Yes. December 10th and 11th, of course, the event is happening.
Yeah. And then I think also too, just want to let listeners know, sorry, this is a little bit off the cuff, is that you also include some of your past guests that you guys had. That's great,
Yeah. This kind of speaks to the kind of guests we look for, but basically people who are going to make, have a relationship with the community and people who, it's a different kind of convention that way, yes. Not just a venue or stop on someone's way. We kind of look for that little extra. And on that note, Frank Cho has just been incredible, not only with his support of the convention and making his appearances, but
yes,
they are actively raising funds for the Maui Comic Con nonprofit. So they're nice. A big part of what is making this year's event possible, because they, definitely increased costs at a different venue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. I'm going to ask you. Can you, just for the listeners, briefly tell us the history of Maui Comic Con? Like, when did it start? I know it was you and Kenneth Gardner that are the founders. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I opened my comic store in beginning of 2015. Before then, there hadn't been a comic store on Maui for 10 years. Obviously, when living on Maui, you kind of watch Oahu be ahead of the curve. There's yes. Conventions, they had comic shows starting before that, and the natural progression as you're a comic fan is you want a store, and then you're like, okay, where's the convention in the community? Yes. It's kind of a natural line of thinking. Before I opened the store, about a couple months, I participated in a garage sale of collectibles with a few people. Daryl Tanaka was holding it, and another great former supporter of the store, customer, who recently passed away, Kerwin Guahori. I met him there, and also happened to meet Ken Gardner, who just came to look at the comics, which was, a garage sale doesn't sound like anything crazy. It was just, and it was raining too. But that day I ended up meeting a lot of people from the community, and so that was a cool thing to happen. And so Ken, I had, when I met him at the garage sale, I'm opening a comic store, and we began hanging out together and stuff. And I'm very meticulous. I kind of like was putting together a plan to do a convention.
Yes.
And I was envisioning being ready for that in maybe 2 to 3 years. But Ken Gardner at the same time, and we start talking, and he's just like, goes to talk to the Lahaina Cannery Mall, comes back the next week and is like, yeah, I talked to the mall. They're into it. Let's do it. And I was like, what? So in a matter of 3 months, me and him put together the very first Maui Comic Con in 2016. And that was pretty much the genesis of how it started. The first 3 conventions, was just me and Ken putting on the show and taking a lot, because we weren't able to seek donations. We weren't a nonprofit or anything like that. So we would pay for what we could, funded through the convention. And then in 2018,
yes,
one of the board members, well, he wasn't a board member at the time because it wasn't a board, but friends of the convention, James Silvani, who's an artist who lives on Maui, has done work for Darkwing Duck, Disney, his wife is a lawyer and helped put together the nonprofit group. And so from, I believe the year the nonprofit was formed was 2018 and on, it's just, that's basically the Maui Comic Con as it's known today. So it was, there's a lot more to it, but that's pretty much the general path to getting there.
But that's so cool, because it's kind of, it's nice to hear that it was a grassroots thing. Like you said, it all started in a garage sale.
And I think one of the things that kind of surprised me while we were doing this is we were the first locally owned convention. There's all the other conventions in Hawaii, which are great, but actually not created or owned by locals. So and while it's great to have their support in the community, it's there are things that we try to be mindful of and cater to that hadn't been before.
No, but that's right. I'm glad you pointed it out. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's a locally owned, and you guys are doing it. That's great. Yeah.
And one thing that sets us apart, I think this is what, because we've talked with people who work with mainland conventions and do large shows and things like that, and Maui's definitely its own thing. It's definitely different from other communities. So people insisted that we should be charging for this, and the show is free. It'll always be free, and that's part of the mission of the convention, because to be honest, Maui families, local families, they just are so squeezed. It's one of the most expensive places to live, and there aren't enough free activities to do. I mean, there are great free events that are held by locals for locals, like the Maui Matsu, one of the good ones. That's but a lot of other stuff, like the fair comes to town, you better have some money if you want to go to that. So it's hard.
Yeah,
we had to provide something that people could afford to do as a family.
That is so cool. I'm going to ask you, so this year, where is the con going to be held this year? Because I think, like you said, the first couple of years it was at the one of the shopping malls. I think, was it a couple of years
So
ago?
the first year we were at Lahaina Cannery Mall.
Okay.
And then from the second year to the 5th year, we were at the college, or sorry, the 4th year or so.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So after that, the college didn't reopen. So in 2021, we had to look for a new venue that wasn't the college. And we, with Maui Beach Hotel, which is a smaller venue, but the show in 2021 was smaller because we were going back and forth between different restrictions at the time.
Yes.
So it was actually kind of a tightrope walk just getting there.
Yes.
And so that event went as well as it could have gone. We were very happy and very lucky that it went so well. And so we weren't aware this year that the college campus was available again. So, we love working with Maui College. That's right in line with our community approach and our focus on education and literacy, especially as one of the goals of the convention. So we're still working with the college to do the educational day, where we have like curriculum for local students, featuring some of the headlining artists at the convention, kind of sharing their knowledge about the industry and the process and things like that. But this year we had to pick a venue before we knew that the college would be open. So that's why we're going to be with War Memorial this year, War Memorial Gymnasium. But eventually probably returning back to the college at some point.
Okay, no, but that's great that you guys have it, because the War Memorial Gymnasium, it's I think it's a bigger venue, correct, than last year?
Pretty big venue. So we're projecting that we might be a little larger than we had been before the pandemic. Some people are eager to get out and do things.
Yes.
So, so we wanted to plan ahead for that.
Okay, that's great. Now, before I start asking about your guests and stuff, so are you guys going to be selling T-shirts for the con this year? Because I'm wearing
the shirts are always one of the best parts of the convention, one of the most fun parts. Everybody got a on shirt, so this year's no different. We will be. So we actually have one of our sponsors, Hex Press, the Hex Press Maui.
Yes.
They do screen printing and woodblock ink printing on T-shirts. It's always fun to watch them work. They have a booth at the convention for the last 2 or 3 years now. They're great supporters of the convention. And this year, we're partnering with them to create the official convention shirt. So they're actually going to be doing the design on the main T-shirt this year. So we're going to have a convention exclusive shirt, which is like our regular convention shirts that have the information on the back. We put like a tour shirt, like, a rock tour, just show kind of everything that you have to see on the back. And the exclusive Hex Press design on the front. And as Hex Press is partnering with us on this T-shirt, they're also going to have a version of it for printing live at the show. They actually print the shirts there.
So that's nice.
Definitely pretty cool, and hopefully people will get to check that out.
I'm off the cuff question, because if I want to get a shirt, and of course I'm unfortunately I'm not going to be able to go to this year's convention. How, can I order one off the website?
Yeah, you know what? We don't have any order forms on the website, but we do have our email contact. If anybody is not able to attend the convention this year and wants to order a T-shirt, please just send us an email. Give us your information. We'll work something out. We'll be able to ship it as long as they're paying the shipping costs. But we'll work something out. Because we know the shirt is one of the main draws of the convention. So one of my favorite things about it.
Oh yes, because listeners, because I've bought a couple shirts. Unfortunately I haven't. One day I will be there. I'll be at the con, but I bought a couple shirts and they're great. The past ones are really great.
Yeah, the one you're wearing right now, I think that's the 2017 show. That was that shirt's by Francine Walraven. One of the classics there.
Oh yeah, Stan Sakai, Mark Teixeira was at that one. Yeah. I'm sorry, what was that?
That was a very fun show with Stan Sakai, Mark Teixeira, Joe Rubenstein too. I think was there. Yeah.
I think So, all right. So I'm gonna. Actually, before I start again, and correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are also going to do a vaccine drive at the con too. Is that correct?
Well, that was last year. That was last
year.
Yeah, the Department of Health is not really as pushing as much on that. So we didn't organize a vaccine drive this year. We wanted to kind of, especially with logistics, we didn't want to mix it this year. Last year the event was small enough to where we could kind of double duty in the parking lot. So if people do want to get their vaccines or their boosters, please do so by all means. We're not going to have it this year, unfortunately. At the
Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that, Alika. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the meat of this. Let's go through your special guests for this year's convention. I'm going to start off with, and I hope I can pronounce her last name correctly, Agnes Garboska.
Garbowska, yeah, we're very excited to have her. And you know, luckily James Silvani, and we got to give him credit for making the connection. But you know, typically when we bring in comic artists, I see it across the spectrum, is most comic artists, especially modern comic artists, are geared towards an older audience these days. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's nice to get someone whose target demographic on the books that they're working on. Agnes, of course, working on My Little Pony and things like that, and she, you know, and she does live sketches at the convention for kids. So that'll be definitely a fun aspect to have her out there.
Oh yes. Sorry, I didn't write this in my notes to you, but I did meet her when she came down for Comic Con Honolulu back in 2019. Very nice. I did a short interview with her. She's really nice. Yeah.
I think one of the main things that we also look for with our guests, being a smaller show and not having, you know, we only can have a handful of guests at a time.
Yes.
Our mind is really on the attendees' experience. You know, as somebody who is known to be good with crowds and children, and not you know, our convention is not very large, so maybe crowds isn't the right word, but good with engaging in the community and things like that.
Okay. And then your next special guest, Jerry, I'm going to try to pronounce Jerry Irshwood.
Jeff. That's Jeff.
I'm sorry.
Jeff Isherwood, which, by the way, anybody who is an 80s or 90s comic fan knows he's one of the hidden legends of Marvel Comics that you didn't even realize how much of a fan you are of this guy until you realize the runs of comics that he's worked on. You know, a lot of his Doctor Strange art were the inspiration for the very first movie. Some of the scenes swiped directly from the comics that he had drawn. I got to tell you, one of the most iconic covers of my childhood was the Namor issue 50. It was a foil cover, and it was of Namor kissing Sue Storm or Sue Richards at the time. Yeah, so it was like a scandalous cover, but that cover is like iconic from the 90s. If you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about, and that is Jeff Isherwood right there. But we just so blessed to, and the thing is, this is Jeff's first appearance at Maui Comic Con, but not his first appearance on Maui. He has been coming back and forth to Maui, and just he's done store appearances at Maui Comics and Collectibles.
Yes.
And he has forged a very strong relationship with the community. So somebody that we are very eager to have at the convention this year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, because I remember you guys had him on the Nerd Watch podcast. I remember I listened to one of the episodes, and I think he was on for like a few minutes, you know, like maybe half an hour, and he goes, "Sorry guys, I got to run." You know.
Yeah, he was here on vacation with his wife Amanda, who's incredible. We love Amanda, and they'll be together out here again. But he's been here many times. He comes every other year, I think. So we've seen him like 4 or 5 times already before this convention. So we're already familiar and friendly, and yeah, we can't wait to see him again.
That's so cool. All right, the next guest, you know, a local boy, David Nakayama, cover artist.
We've been trying to get, and because the pandemic happened, a lot of stuff got interrupted too. But we are so happy and this is his debut on Maui right now.
Yes.
So many people out here who haven't been able to get out to Oahu. We know David Nakayama appears on Oahu a lot because he lives in, but you know, Maui people, so you know, some people can afford to fly out to Oahu when he appears and have been able to meet him, but not every. But we're very very bring him in and have Maui get to get to meet him on that level.
Yeah, that's so cool. And the other thing too, I think,
One of and if you've been following the news, he's also been announced as the main cover artist for Catwoman, I think, on DC Comics.
oh no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So I mean, doing cover A, usually David Nakayama is known for his variants, right?
yes.
Every the Nakayama variant, they're great. There's a few books that he actually is the main cover artist, like Midnight Suns
Yes.
and the Gwenverse series that just those are all Marvel books, obviously, but this is a pretty big deal for his first DC book to running cover A's on. So that.
And then also too, I think because I know he posted on Twitter just recently, probably within the last couple weeks, that he did he's going to do a Darkwing Duck cover.
He's doing cover on Darkwing Duck and the new Gargoyles book that are both kind of.
So okay, excuse me. And then of course Frank Cho. You guys have Frank Cho coming down.
Frank Cho, man. I mean, what an embarrassment of riches. We are so blessed to have met Frank, and for him, I'm the same thing. He just had fallen in love with Maui and with the community and the island in general, and we'll take that. We'll use whatever charms we got to get him back out here, because Frank Cho is definitely a heavy hitter in the comics industry.
Yes.
And the connections that he brings to us too is just, awesome. And he always is just so generous. He's been raising a lot of money for the Maui Comic Con this year so far, almost over $8,000 raised, which just unheard of, unreal, larger than some of our earlier conventions budgets alone, Yeah, very, very excited to have him out here.
Now, this is an off the cuff question. Correct me if I'm wrong, because didn't Frank also ask, hey, can Liam Sharp, and this is for last year's convention, did he ask to bring down Liam Sharp too as well?
We had Liam Sharp, yeah. I mean, they're good buddies, and when we get to see him hanging out and stuff, and we can just see the warmth. And Liam Sharp is a teddy bear, man. So last year getting to meet him, and we're hoping that he'll be able to join us again. And so that's what I'm saying, is somebody who just is so engaged and friendly and legendary. Liam Sharp is just an incredible artist,
Yes. Yeah.
It's crazy how just seeing these amazing talented people hanging out with each other, and as a fan kind of just standing by and just thinking about what these guys are capable of. And
yeah, because I know and his Liam Sharp's work on Starhenge, which is
Starhenge.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, and it's on issue 4 now. Can't wait to get this first 6 issues is book 1.
Yes.
And anybody out there who can go pick up Starhenge, so good.
Yes.
So good. It's basically Arthurian legend, happening in the future in space with sci-fi, and definitely an angle we haven't looked at it too much from, especially with the amazing, incredible talents of Liam, who can cross mediums. He's going from paint to pen and ink to, he can do it all.
I agree with you. I really do. All right. So your next guest is Amy Meberson?
Amy Meberson, who also shares having worked on My Little Pony with Agnes. Amy also does the licensed work for Disney in some of their stuff, including the Princesses line. But like I said, we're happy that we can finally cater to more younger audiences with because Frank Cho hasn't necessarily worked on a children's book, or Liam Sharp, I don't think so, probably not. It's geared towards a little bit of a mature audience. So when we have guests like Agnes Garbowska and Amy Meberson, that there's always going to be kids at the show, because kids are so engaged with the material and the world and imagination, and really they benefit the most from it, because they're encouraged to literacy through these things. And so the kind of books that Agnes and Amy both work on, focused for children, are doing so much to create the fans of the future, to just increase literacy in the community, which you don't even have to be a fan of comics to appreciate that. So yeah, so excited to have both of them there.
But I have to see, that's really nice that you guys looked at trying to balance it out, to bring, because you know the community, you know who's going to be coming, and you want to balance that out to make sure everybody has a wonderful experience at the con. That's great.
That's our primary, because the whole thing about creating the convention, if I can go back to that with me and Ken, is just how would we feel attending this event, and when we attend an event, what kinds of things are we expecting the organizers to think about and consider on our behalf. So yeah, I mean, those are things that are always on our mind.
Okay, that's great. Now, not only do you have special guests, but also you guys are also spotlighting on local artists at the convention as well. So you guys have an incredible list of local artists.
And I will say that list that you're reading from online is there are even more. We just were able to post the artists who provided us with their information. Hint, hint, other artists. But if you can get me your information, we can put your information up there.
Okay. So listeners, and also if you're a local artist listening, we'll try to go through the list of who's attending, and I'm going to say I'm sorry if we missed you, or because due to time restraints. So sorry.
How about I'll just read down the list, and if there's some breakout information about each artist that I know off the top of my head, I'll just I'll throw it out there.
Yeah.
So this is in no particular order, by the way. This is how it is on my spreadsheet. So I apologize if anybody thinks they need top or last billing, but I'm just going to run through the list that I have in front of me. We've got 30 local artists, and the board is the selecting process. So we try to make these artist spaces available to local artists as much as possible.
Yes.
But because of their limited availability, we do have to kind of be mindful of that, and we have to do that through the board selection process. So do you want me to read through the list?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you. Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so starting with Bailey Onaga, known as B Mio. She's been doing a lot of the morning makeke, and on Maui it's like something that was started by the Wailuku Jodo mission as a morning marketplace. But she also works a lot with Wailuku Small Town Big Art, and she does original designs with Paradise Now. Very engaged locally, creating art, and her original pieces are just awesome. And she does a lot of advertising for local businesses. Drew Gutierrez, he's from Oahu. You're probably familiar with him.
Yeah.
Heavy on the indie side. So following him, definitely known for his indie zine, The Monster Mash, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Swan Kaho'okele appearing again as an artist. He appeared last year. Swan, the War Chief. Connie Jolitz, who I just became aware of this last year, but have been following, and she does some great art. She's from Oahu, I believe.
Okay.
And went over. Todd Bernardi, of course.
Oh yes.
The creator of Kukui Project.
Yes.
Two of which just released issue 12 of 12. So excited for that. Also, got to mention that he had a variant cover done by Vincent Kukua, who recently passed away. That we recently lost Vincent, and so it's very nice to be able to see some of his work that he did on that last cover. But very talented guy, and just respect to his family, and that. So I just had to bring him up when mentioning Kukui Project.
Oh yes, yes.
Also, coming out is Casey Horimoto.
Oh yeah.
You know, her artist name is Yuma Fuki. So we love her style. Definitely geared to the manga and anime side. Suzume. Some of these artists I'm just being introduced to, so I don't have as much knowledge, but I'll try to do my best. Naoko Tark, he had a manga about a sad bunny, I believe, and I may have just butchered that. Maybe it's a sad rabbit, but it's one of the two, and the thing is sad. So you'll be able to see the comic there. Tara Sanai, who actually happens to be an artist that works in Gyotaku. So maybe a little different than what people might be used to. But Gyotaku, of course, being original art, fish print. You take the fish, you paint on the fish, you press the fabric on the fish or the rice paper or whatever, and you got a perfect print, and then maybe you do some finer touches on it. But always in a form that I've respected, and that when you're talking about local art, should not be left out of the conversation. So definitely some beautiful pieces. Art Wong, with he works with the Kawasaki Studios with Sam Campos and the Pineapple Man crew. Sharon, we'll be excited to see art. Wayne Lowe from the Big Island. He's a fine artist and a painter. He did the cover for Exilian issue 5 with DJ Cavalcani. DJ Cavalcani, who will also be there at Maui Comic Con.
And that was his comic that he did, and he also didn't interrupt.
No problem.
And they released the Mana Comics released the Mana Legends Kamehameha #1. Just because I got mine.
DJ did some art on that. I think he did the interiors on that. So awesome stuff. And while we're on it, Chris Caravallo from the Mana Comic Group and Chris Lohman, who does the coloring and a lot of the Sister Shark cover art and stuff. So stoked to have the Mana Comics guys and the Kawasaki. How many A's are in that damn word? I'm like, did I do one too many or one too little? But Sam Campos and crew. So definitely some strong local comics pedigree. We'll also have Lahela Schosler. I'm unsure of any of what she's got, but I know that she's going to have some great art at her booth. This one's an interesting one. Ocean Black. With Ocean Black is an anime that is developed with some local talent, a universe created by EJ Wedge. And Addie Lee, the voice actress, will be running the booth. But that is a locally produced anime that we've got hopefully some exclusive clips coming up. So that's interesting. John J. Murakami, as always, just a comic legend out here in Hawaii. The local kind greeting cards. Most people will be familiar with his work from there, but also his comics in the Honolulu Advertiser, and I think there's another newspaper that carries a regular of his too.
I think it's the Japanese one. I'm trying to remember. But
John J, he's amazing. So him out here, and of course Sam Campos. You can't have the Sam Campos crew without Sam himself.
And then for listeners, for Sam, I still remember his comic is Pineapple Man. For listeners, that are not familiar with him.
So, just a little cross-pollination, because I did cover Pineapple Man kind of extensively when I did an interview with Cartoonist Kayfabe YouTube channel, which is Ed Piscor and Jim Rugg, who also appeared at the Maui Comic Con last year. But that, if you guys want to check out more of that, I show some of the original artwork off in that. So also Lorenzo Trinidad, guy with some pedigree, because he is the son of Corky Trinidad, legendary Oahu comic strip artist. And trust me, if you weren't familiar, neither was I until Lorenzo hipped me to his dad's work, and I'm forever grateful. But Lorenzo is going to be out there, part of the Act Army, Unfortunately, I don't think Nobuyuki, who he has done a lot of work with, won't be appearing, but Lorenzo will be out there representing for the Trinographics crew.
Okay.
Chris Ventura is a new artist from Maui.
Mm-hmm.
Pancho Abalos.
Mm-hmm.
Folks in Oahu definitely see him quite often out there. I think he works with the Snack Addicted crew a lot of the time. I don't know. Maybe I might be getting that wrong, but Pancho is a great guy. He's appeared at the Maui Comic Con before, so can't wait to have him back. Sean Paktanak, who has done variant covers. He does like a chibi style for the Mana Comics group. Awesome work. Can't wait to see him out here. Canilla Tripp, former colorist for Marvel and Wildstorm. Incredible artist. He works, watching his paint work that he's been working on, his paintings have been great. So yeah, can't wait to see Canilla out here. Ryson Lapena, who is also, he's from Maui, does Gyotaku. So we're gonna have more than one Gyotaku artist at the show. And I know he does other work, but Gyotaku is what's sticking in my mind because it's really incredible stuff, and hopefully you guys get to see it at the show. We've also got Momichu. She does more manga and anime style inspired stuff. Okay. Reed Kishimoto, when you're talking about an anime style, he does incredible work. So can't wait to see Reed out here again. Lilia Kane, creator of Naupaka.
Sorry, I'm not. Yeah.
No, she created a new comic, Naupaka, about Hawaiian mermaid hero team, of an all-female hero team. But interesting thing about Lily is she's also a casting agent and has been working in film for decades out here in Hawaii. So he's got incredible connections in the film industry and wanted to get into the comics. Usually it's the other way around, right?
Yeah.
You're doing comics and you want to get into film.
Yeah.
But it just shows there's that kind of cross-pollination going with that. We've also got Lucky Holland, who is a well-known Maui artist. She does some great painted work, and she's been doing some murals too, I think, with Small Town Big Art. When we're talking about murals, you can't forget to talk about Jaja Sight. Great guy, hangs out with the Roughneck Posse. He is going to be doing an outside art installation, as is Maui Fine Artist. He's the Endemic Hawaii Artists Coalition, which is him, and Elmer Bio is Noble Richardson. Noble Richardson's work is phenomenal.
Okay.
There's some things that you feel exceed the realm of comics, but when you see how inspired his style and his work is by comics, you're just like humbled at what is possible with the imagination. Very excited to have Noble out here. And last but not least, I want to mention Joshua Sky, who I just became acquainted through Chino LaForge, who is a stand-up comedian out here in Maui. And he actually had a stint. He was actually the host at in LA at one of the improvs over there. But Joshua Sky, he introduced me to him. He's like, my friend Joshua, he works on the Netflix He-Man show and has done some work for Transformers as well. So we're very excited to have him, and he's got local ties, but he's been living in the mainland for his career. So can't wait to welcome him back home. And that's pretty much the bulk of the artist alley that'll be out there.
That is so cool. That is a long list of local artists, and that's great. No, but that's great though. I'm just asking off the cuff. Do you know if G Money's gonna plan to do any interviews for the Nerd Watch or anything, or
that I'm not sure of, but I do know that we do have panels planned by another podcaster. His name is Kavika Hoke, and he has been doing it's called Rabbits on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
AKA Rabbit Holes. And he does a great podcast. It's pretty much where I learned of Ocean Black and Patty Lee and all them. But very talented local guy, Hawaiian, super, into the nerd stuff. He's definitely one of us, one of the nerdy dudes. So very excited to have him MC the event and run some panels. But we may see G Money if you can get motivated. Let's.
All right. Now, I'm gonna ask. I know there'll be a cosplay contest. Like like what? First off, like when will the contest be held?
So the Night Darling cosplay competition. Night Darling, Lindsay Kyocho, who's an incredible cosplayer, and not only that, but an artist also. She's been working on her own art and selling at the morning makeke at the Jodo mission along with Bailey. But she does the cosplay competition, and the adult division, I believe registration is open now. I gotta check if the form's up on the website. I apologize if it's not. But we and we're gonna have some day of registration too, but the adults are gonna be on Saturday, and then the division is gonna be on Sunday.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So again, I know I'm repeating what you said. So again, the adult competition is going to be on Saturday, and the kids one is going to be on Sunday, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, that's so cool. All right, Alika, I'm letting you know I'm slowly wrapping things up. So, what is the most fun or exciting thing that you love putting this year's convention together? What's
there's so much energy going around, and I have to play my part in each part of it anyways, so I try to feed off the energy for every part. You could talk about the outdoor art installations, and I would get very passionate and excited about that. Or you could talk about Educational Day, which is the curriculum held by the artist the Friday before, and I'll again be really passionate about that. Or the giant local artist alley that you get to yourself to new artists, or the vendors hall where you can get all the collectibles and comics and stuff that you've been for, or the panels where you get to see what everybody's up to and catch up on their process. Or of course, the thing that everybody is going to be excited for is the headliner artists, the national level superstars like Frank Cho and Amy Meberson and Jeff Isherwood and David Nakayama and Agnes Garbalska. So we're just so excited for all of it. It's like difficult not to be.
Yeah. All right. I know you've been doing the convention for 6 years. Do you have a favorite moment or moments of the convention? Any part of the convention?
Yeah, I mean, every year there's always this magic moment, and it's kind of surreal, and you're just like, wow, is this really happening? Like every year's got something like that. Like 1 year we were catching breakfast before the show with Mark Texiera and Stan Sakai and his wife Julie, and Mark just starts pencil sketching Julie Sakai right there, and it's incredible. And or there's hanging out with the cartoonist kayfabe guys, and I got to actually be on a couple episodes of a podcast that I really had been following before they even came out to the show, and that was very surreal. I got to set up an interview with Reed Kikuo Johnson on the channel, so if you guys can check out his interview. We got to host Reed Kikuo Johnson at the show, which was awesome. Night Fisher, no one else, just an incredible artist, had worked on the New Yorker as well. There's just so many things that happen over the course of the convention with the ingredients that are happening, that there's so many moments, and everybody's going to have their own one. So it's, I don't want to impose mine on everybody, but those are some of the ones that pop into mind first.
That's nice. Last question. Any closing words to our listeners?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting local comics in Hawaii, and just thank you for all the support and all the great podcasts since then. We love what you guys do, so it's always appreciated.
So Alika, mahalo, just mahalo for your time. Just thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for giving me.
Yeah, you as
No, but thank you for giving me another opportunity to interview you. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, just thank you. Um, I wish you guys all the success for this year's Maui Comic Con. Um, I keep
We'll
saying
get
this.
you out here. Okay?
Yes, 1 year I'm going to come out there. 1 year. So, um, now for listeners, now if you are vacationing in Maui, or if you know a friend who will be vacationing in Maui during December 10th and December 11th, please check out Maui Comic Con. That will be held at the War Memorial Gymnasium. So yeah, so yeah, so like I said, if you guys get a chance, please stop by, or and also yeah, just check out the website as well to see who was coming and so forth, or dates and stuff like that. um Also too, I want to thank Drew, the host of Comics for Fun and Profit, for putting this episode together. Drew, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. And if you are a new listener, please check out new episodes of Comics for Fun and Profit that comes out every Saturday. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys, aloha.
Hey, thank you so much, Jason.